Today, let's learn about the staff. A musical staff is where music is notated or written down. It is made up of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and those are counted from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Notes are placed on these lines and spaces to tell the musician what specific pitches should be played or sung. There is also something called the grand staff. The grand staff. The grand staff combines 2 staves, usually a treble clef staff for higher notes and a bass clef staff for lower notes. A brace along the left-hand side connects those 2 staves so the musician knows to read both at the same time. Instruments such as the piano, organ, and harp all have their music written on the grand staff, since both hands are used at once to play a wide range of notes on those instruments. The staff is so important because it gives us the ability to write down our musical ideas and to share our music with others. And that's today's mini music class. What's the difference between line notes and space notes? Let's find out. When music is written down, it is done on a staff, which is made up of 5 lines and 4 spaces. A note, no matter what kind of note it is either drawn on one of the lines or in the space between 2 lines. When a note is drawn with the note head on a line, splitting the note head in half, we call that a line note. When a note is drawn with the note head nestled snugly in between 2 lines, that is what we call a space note. To draw a line note properly, make sure the note head is clearly drawn in the middle of the line. Also, don't make it so small that you question what kind of note it is, but not so big that it fills the space either above or below as well. Let's look at a few examples. This note head is too big, this note head isn't centered correctly, but this one is just right. Space notes need to be drawn so that the note head fills the space completely, but does not cross over the line either above or below. Let's take a look at some examples of space notes. This note head is too small, this is perfect, and this makes my brain confused and my heart sad. And that's today's mini music class. Let's talk about the musical alphabet. The musical alphabet is the set of 7 letters that is used to represent every pitch that any musician plays on any instrument. If you see music notated on a staff, each and every single one of those notes has one of these 7 names: A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. After G, the pattern repeats. It doesn't move on to H, and it doesn't skip to Q for no reason. It goes right back to A, B, C, etc. This is why, for example, there are several different Cs that you can play on any instrument, because the musical alphabet reuses the same 7 letters over and over again. And you only know which one of those Cs you're supposed to play because each one has its own place on the staff, and they each refer to a unique pitch or specific tone. Even if a sharp, flat, or a natural sign is added to a note, it is still referred to by its musical alphabet letter first. For example, F sharp or D flat. It's so crazy to think, but even in this insane piece of piano music, every single one of these probably 2 million notes has one of only 7 names: A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. No H and no Q. And that's today's mini music class. Today, let's talk about the treble clef. The treble clef, also known as the G clef, is a musical symbol that's placed at the beginning of a staff. When you see this symbol, you know you'll be playing and hearing higher pitches. Instruments like violin, flute, clarinet, trumpet, and alto saxophone all read music on the treble clef staff. The treble clef is drawn to look like a stylized letter G found all the way back in medieval times. There are many different variations, but the most important part when drawing one is that the curve at the bottom swirls around the G line, the second line going up. Now you know why it's also called the G clef. And if you're anything like me, it will only take you a mere 30 years to be able to successfully draw one on the first try. And that's today's mini music class. Here's a quick lesson on how to read the notes of the treble clef staff. There are 2 kinds of notes on any staff: line notes that live on the line and space notes that live in between 2 lines. And when you see a treble clef at the beginning of the staff, you know you'll be hearing higher pitches. But what are the actual note names? Any note that lives on the bottom line of the treble clef staff is an E. It can be a quarter note, half note, whole note, etc. If the note head is on that first line, the pitch you will be hearing is E. Then going up, notes found on the other lines are G, B, D, and F. Look for which line the note head is on, and that will give you the right answer. Any notes that live in the spaces are, going from the bottom up, F, A, C, and E. To remember the order of the line notes, there are some popular sayings that are used, such as, every good boy does fine, every good boy deserves fudge, and even, elephants got big dirty feet. My sincere apologies to any elephants watching this video. I'm sure your feet are perfectly fine. To remember the order of the space notes, use the saying space spells face. Always go from the bottom to top when naming the line and space notes of the treble clef. Let's take a quick quiz to test your knowledge. Line notes first. This note is G. This note is F. And this one is an E. Now for some space notes. This note is C. This one is an A. And this one is F. And that's today's mini music class. Mini music class. Let's learn about the bass clef. Mini music class. The bass clef, also known as the F clef, is a musical symbol that's placed at the beginning of a staff to notate or write down lower notes. Instruments such as the cello, tuba, bassoon, trombone, and string bass all read music on the bass clef staff. The bass clef has changed its look over many centuries. Makeover! But it got its F clef name because it started as a very stylized letter F back in medieval times, and it was written to notate where the F note below middle C is. Nowadays, the bass clef looks like a backwards C, or as I see it, as half a heart, with two dots on either side, above and below, of the F line on the staff, or the fourth line going up. This is done as a constant reference point to the musician reading the music. And that's today's mini music class. Mini music class. Today, let's learn how to read the lines and spaces of the bass clef staff, and yes, I wore this outfit on purpose. Mini music class. When you see a bass clef written at the beginning of a staff, you know you'll be hearing or playing low notes. But how do you know exactly what notes to play? To find the answer, check out on which line or space the note head is written. Let's take a closer look. When any kind of note, a quarter note, eighth note, or dotted half note, for example, is written on the bottom line of the bass clef staff, that note name is G. Then, going up, notes found on the other lines are B, D, F, and A. Any notes that live in the spaces are, going from the bottom up, A, C, E, and G. Remember, it's all about where the note head lives. There are some popular sayings that help us remember the order of the line and space notes, and we always use the note names in order from bottom to top. For the line notes, a common saying is, good boys do fine always. And for the space notes, all cows eat grass. If you have a favorite saying or have made one up of your own, feel free to share in the comments. Let's take a quick quiz to review the notes of the bass clef, line notes first. This note is D. This note is an A. And this one is G. Now for the space notes. This note is A. This one is a G. And this one is C. And that's today's mini music class. Mini music class.